succession. Of course, there is a resolution of the conference. It is taken out of proportion. Internationally, a lot of nonsense being spewed, obviously out of context, and maybe lacking the understanding of the contextual meaning of the Zimbabwean politics. It's not like any other politics that, I mean, other forms of politics that we may be knowing, particularly in some of the parts of the country. Case is actually a very, very unique political case altogether. And I have said to people, when you see Temba Mliswa writing, this statement is a long statement. I'll be writing it on record. History is not blank pages, and we have to actually properly document this political history within ZANU PF unfolding, because it has national bearing, as it may also be seriously consequential. That is why you see most of the people, I was not used to cover so much the stories of ZANU PF, but because I realize that this is of national significance. If we don't actually expose this ruthlessness, if we don't expose this mutilation of the heart of the country, then we will be gone, all of us. It will be over. It will take us 40 years or so to recover. So when Temba Mliswa present his statements, don't think it's coming from him. It's a very, very long statement. It's not coming from him. This statement is meant to promote Mnangagwa, and it is meant to disrespect Chiwenga, as I'll be demonstrating, and most probably giving the hints of what Mnangagwa faction is planning as another phase to go after retired General Chiwenga. Greetings and welcome on your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button, so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. I'll try to read this very fast. I'll also post it on Hlonipani Global News, that is Facebook page. I will make sure it's Hlonipani Global News. Make sure you follow that page, because I post a lot of evidence, especially for those who want evidence. He wrote Sapugu's eye. He calls himself a Sapugu. Malls, purchased fence sitters, and it is need to go bold. Now, don't take this statement lightly. Temba Mliswa cannot speak like this on his own accord. Someone has sent him to write this. And it's an eye-opener of what Mnangagwa will do. If you look at what Temba Mliswa has been posting, most of it has been done by Emmerson Tambuzo Mnangagwa, and some of it is yet to be done on retired General Chiwenga. He says, mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack of conviction, while the West are full of passionate intensity. Yes, I think in this one, maybe they tried to write for him, or he got it through AI. Obviously, has been paid to do this. He says 2004, then here I think he's beginning to write, and this is the language of ZANU PF. Congress time and everything was set for Emmerson Mnangagwa to become vice president. He had party structures and provinces backing him for the post after many years in government. This may be propaganda. Mnangagwa has never been supported by anyone. It was befitting, it was natural, and it was destiny. This is Temba Mliswa. It's not me writing nonsense. However, it didn't happen. Instead, it lost, and Maimjuru was chosen to be the vice president. After years of stoic patience and humbleness, he was denied a position that was seemingly his. It was to remain outside the Presidium until 2014. That period is the barren wasteland for someone who could have been VP, revealed his patience and humbleness. So he's trying to sanitize this person who cannot be sanitized. On her part, Mamjuru was to suffer an unfortunate ending. Felt labeled as Gamma Talks. I think he should have said they went after the husband of Mai Mchuru and then had to expel her, realizing that she was no longer powerful because she was powerful because of the husband. They killed the husband. When they realized that the husband was killed, then they had to fire her. She remained powerless. Mutjuru lost her Central Committee and Politburo seats ahead of the 6th ZANU PF National People's Congress. We're not following this shit by that time. After accusation that she was leading a cabal that wanted to carry out a coup against President Mugabe. She was fired from government together with 17 other ministers and deputy ministers. Mutjuru, remember also, this is misrepresentation of facts. Mugabe fired Mutjuru because of Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa plotted to fire Mutjuru. I mean, Mutjuru had more supporters. Those who supported Mutjuru, Mnangagwa exposed them, and that is why Robert Gabriel Mugabe had to arrest him, which was a miscalculated decision. Mutjuru was succeeded by it. That's the proper narrative I'm saying. He says a man of patience and humbleness. He's not patient. Mnangagwa is not patient. He's not a humble human being. A humble human being cannot kill people. A humble human being cannot be selfish to extend his term of office beyond the constitutionally prescribed term of office. Is just a villain manipulating the state agencies to fulfill his nefarious agenda. What is striking in that chain of events is how it nursed his disappointment and pain and still worked dutifully and faithfully until his turn finally came. That is hogwash. His level of patience and humbleness is a feat for study and historical. Who can actually study such that this story does not even qualify to be studied. There is no humbleness and patience to be. We will study the evil nature of Mnangagwa, his implementation of Kukuraunde genocide. That is what is known about Mnangagwa, which brings the recent turn of events into a sharp contrast from the exhibition behavior that isn't just reckless but also dangerous. Now he is on to retired General Chiwenga. Listen what he's saying. It has been clear to all and sundry that there was ongoing efforts to usurp it, especially after the passing of Resolution 1 in Bulawayo. Do you think it has ended, foolish Temba? Only those advancing the putschist agenda and the stoically stupid would try to argue that the Presidium has been in unison. So he's now going against even some ZANU PF members. It must be a very, very difficult thing to be a bootlicker of Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa. Now, Temba Mliswa is sent by Mnangagwa himself. So now he is saying those who have been claiming that there is unity, individuals such as Nick Mangwana and others, he's throwing them under the bus here. How foolish they are. It is not, and lately it became clear that VP Chiwenga lost patience and wanted the top seat. A flurry of dossiers, one which has actually led to the accusations of treason. So he is saying accusations of treason. People should note what exactly Mnangagwa is planning. Temba Mliswa is sent to actually hint to retire. It's a message clearly sent to retired General Chiwenga. Reveals his frenetic urgency to grab the top post. Nothing wrong in a teacher wishing to become the headmaster, but it is the method that shocked bystanders who was shocked. There is no one who was shocked. In fact, Chiwenga has to take over. I think he may be better than this loser called Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa. Arming wild desperados. Sekuru Keza began as a wild rambler, demanding cars and bodyguards, and slowly built himself into a crescendo of anti-establishment narratives. The narrative span on spingly of eccentricism, until they sharpened into a willful campaign to remove ET and replace him with VP Chiwenga. The Million Men March, like similar planned and failed marches before, was clearly an effort to steer the public pot so furiously to make the country ungovernable for ET. Now, it didn't fail. Anyway, it didn't fail. That the VP also came emerging with dossiers and dockets within the government system completed the puzzle. It's clear that the VP has failed to nurture patience so as to wait for his turn with humbleness and obedience, as it equally did after 2004 resolution. After 2004, in fact, he says resolution number 1 became the catalyst that spurred him into action, as through it he spied the death of his own presidential ambitions. So you see what he is saying. He's saying the presidential of retired General Chiwenga have died. Anyway, this is just a notion of the Mnangagwa Cabal. Let me just read this and finish it. What is confusing is how he failed to object to it, even though proxies, until it became a party resolution. Even against a sure loss, he could have registered his objection for posterity, malls and putschist fence sitters. Instead, he chose an even harder path in October, which included treasonous efforts and aligned with some underground malls in the system and those expelled. Some who have been long in the system, like George Charamba, have emerged from this scandal with very tainted names. Some who have been long in the system, like George Charamba, have emerged from this scandal with very tainted names, while even the VP's wife should best be resigned from the military. So now he is going even after VP's wife. He is also pointing George Charamba. Let me read it again. Some who have been long in the system, like George Charamba, have emerged from this scandal with very tainted names, while even the VP's wife should best be resigned from the military. So get where it's going to. Mnangagwa is aiming at also firing Mini Yotabo from the military. That Temba Mliswa is not speaking his own mind. He is speaking the decisions that have already been made. I'll just go, if you can go to the videos of Temba Mliswa that I did, you will see that what I'm saying is, I'm not a prophet, by the way, but I'm telling people what I actually see. So I've, yes, let me continue. Multiple intelligence leaks have betrayed the presence of sellouts, which increases pressure on ED to act boldly and fire many people. Some were sitting on the fence waiting to jump to the fastest side, despite the clear need to defend a duly elected president. So you see what I was talking about just earlier, before Temba Mliswa posted this nonsense, that we may see reshuffles very, very soon. And if you see someone reshuffled, it means that person, according to the intelligence of Mnangagwa, has been working with retired General Chiwenga. There are too many flip-floppers such that it should simply get his own people into government and chuck sellouts out. Hey, some of us are wired differently and will defend the president whether it is safe or not. We don't need to be in the party or government to do that. Once one is elected as the president, then everyone should coalesce around him. It should never get to a point where supporting the president is a dangerous exercise that can get one hurt or killed. I heard a homestead burnt down for simply siding with the president, while multiple leaks revealed moles inside the system. The leaking of my passport and boarding pass while minute betrays existence of leaks which needs to be flushed. Multiple other intelligence leaks from the Central Committee Politburo also signify how it needs to seriously rethink those around him and his system. Now you see what I have been talking about. So if you have been following me, he's repeating, not of course in his context, but he's revealing that there are many people whom Mnangagwa thinks support him who are not necessarily support him. Watch the space. Even if Temba Mliswa think he has everything on top of his agenda, he may not know all of them. Retired General Chiwenga appears to be highly supported. And this is a Mnangagwa is still in a panic mode. This is the spokesperson of Mnangagwa, by the way, paid 500,000, $500,000 to do this job. So this, what he's writing, this long statement, don't take it for granted. He says some of them are very apparent. How does the wife of the VP continue going to work when she has become a politically exposed person? Now she's targeting Minnie Otabo Baloyi. It creates an unfair situation even for her superiors, as they mostly likely can't order her around. In a rigid environment such as the military, who can see the VP's wife with professional detachment? No one. It's a whole cleanup exercise that has to happen for it to solidify his position. Otherwise, he would be nurturing many people who were working against him. Okay? Grandstanding for neighbors. On his part, VP Chiwenga complicated his own position by being nasty. So you see, there is a plot to fire Chiwenga. He's saying his position, he complicated it. As things stand, he has essentially brought the party into disrepute. And whatever political capital he possessed, especially within it, he has lost it. Meanwhile, the chain of events have solidified the support and control that it has in the party. It's one thing to be celebrated by social media, mainly opposition people in the diaspora, and another to build a support base within the party. As someone who sought to succeed it, the VP's focus should have been on gaining support internally, not grandstanding to those outside, including expelled former ZANU PF politician. I think he's talking about VP Chiwenga maybe working with Xavier Kasukera. I don't think there is that kind of arrangement. But all this it shows the future of retired General Chiwenga, especially if he doesn't act against Mnangagwa. They are targeting his wife. It is Mnangagwa, in fact, speaking this. It should not be taken as words from Temba Mliswa. Now he says, his machinations should have centered on building from inside. And as I have previously advised, begin with Marsh East Province. Without such internal support, he has become a sitting duck. Like Mindjuru in 2004, plucked from nowhere and hoisted into a high office, the VP needed to bid his time and patiently focus on his duties. His being a former military person didn't and still doesn't betroth on person political qualities to become a president. He still has to work and justify himself as the potential candidate because this is a new field altogether. 4 decades after independence, it's reasonable if there is a persuasion to change the guard and have a breed of leaders who never took part in the liberation war. So he's justifying Gudawashe Takure's incoming. Liberation heroes have had their time and opportunity and a different skill set, such as the obvious one of Gudawashe Takure. Isn't it shocking? One sharp-minded enough to have been CTF should be able to realize this despite harboring same ambitions. Meanwhile, whatever issues he had with the party or president should have been addressed differently and equally resolved. There was no need to go for broke, stretching the party, endangering national stability, and soiling his much vaunted name. As for the president, many have shown their colors and inability to do the principal thing and should simply be allowed or made to walk. Unlike yet appended scenarios of passionate evildoers, here we carry the same conviction to remedy the wrongs. So Temba Mliswa fight striking. Let me just read one or two comments because I've actually, this video is too long. I don't want to have said, but it was detailed. It's very important. As I'm posting this text on my Facebook actually channel, Hlonipani Global News. Make sure that you go there and get to read it yourself. Someone says, you seem to forget that Chiwenga is not your typical VP. He is the general who led the coup that removed Mugabe and made Mnangagwa president. Chiwenga made ED. Without Chiwenga, ED would have gone down in history as the coward who fled his own country at the slightest sign of trouble. Tackling him so nicely. Someone says, have noticed a trend recently where Temba is becoming an opinion leader, having a say in the narrative discussed in the public sphere. The present day Athenian Agora through social media. This man is literally controlling the political narrative, though I suspect lies being peddled. No, he's not controlling the political narrative. He's given the script. He is given the script. Someone, so this is turning out dangerous. So as I said, let me just sum it up for you. As I said, it's not yet over. You see, Mnangagwa doesn't know who is with him. Chiwenga is someone who plays, his cards not so openly. They are seemingly open, but not so open. Mnangagwa doesn't know who to go after, where to get information. And that is why he cannot boldly say, I accept the resolution. Because if he does so, all hell will break loose. Chiwenga still has his people. And Temba Mliswa is revealing, why did we see the ticket that he used to go out of South Africa? Why were we aware of all moves of Temba Mliswa? Why were we aware that Mnangagwa was having a meeting at Prikepu Farm? Why are we aware of where exactly the response that was written by Zambi was written where, and who are the people who participated? Chiwenga is strong politically. That drama, they may have actually ignored it. And they want to hear from the creator of this political drama in Zimbabwe, who happens to be Mnangagwa. If we just make a hint, I'm telling you, all hell will break loose. That is why it just stays like something that doesn't breathe in that conference. And when he speaks, he tries to embrace the language of Chiwenga, because he knows once he tries to speak something that is not actually in tandem with General Chiwenga on corruption, and once he starts to actually accept these resolutions brought by the so-called ZANU PF thugs, then we will see. But already Chiwenga is aware, as he told him through the dossier. Now you hear the threats. They want to go after his wife. I've said it. This is how evil Mnangagwa is. Mnangagwa is a very, very evil person. So what Temba Mliswa is saying, in fact, he is privy to the crust of Mnangagwa. He's telling us what is happening. Watch my words. Thank you very much for watching us. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members. Who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can also do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Okay, Umhlabane is signing off. Let me laugh and leave you. Let's meet